All right, y'all, let's get into Putin and the Spy Kids. And he met these kids at the airport with the big bouquet. The Spy Kids takes us to the script of X-Spies, and we recently saw X-Spies, Elon Musk, go into DC with Netanyahu's permission. And the Netanyahu, well, that's the net cast on the right side to capture up all these fish, the bass, the ass, the donkeys. So as Elon Musk went in there, and this is going to tie to the X-Files and those types of things as well that we've been shown with that Daniel Duchovny, and that Duchovny, that new covenant has been shown to gather up that nation who says you can't do that, you can't do nothing, we can't even believe the world you live in, we revolve around the sun. That kind of stuff. And they revolve around their son, their begotten son. And they're going to rise up for the begotten son. All these things that we're told are code speak about the world you live in and what controls your world and how your world is ran. It's being taught to you one way. It's a secret, the dark speaks. And we read these and we can understand another reality. This is where I tell you earthly things. You want to understand the heavenly things. And the people, the blind leading the blind. If I can't tell you earthly things, well, you don't live. We're not spinning on a ball. You can prove it this way in hundreds of ways, with evidence that you can test and hold, that you can go out and test yourself. You ain't got no rocket. It takes faith. That's the blind leading the blind. We can go to space. I've seen pictures. The Holy Land is right here. Here's a map in my Bible. Blind leading blind. Brainwashing takes decades. And then people are just so seared. They're going to rise up for that script. This is my world. This is my reality. You can't do it. God is this. God is this. Oh. Because they don't have access to the tree of knowledge. They haven't become as gods. You got to accept Jesus and ask him into your heart, and then come to my service, and I will tell you how to live your life. That's not what Jesus taught at all. Never did he say go to church. You are the church. People want to follow you, great. You might have 12 friends. That's the 12 constellations. And each person has 12, and we just work in those atom structures all together, bouncing off each other. And then it spreads out and creates our reality. And they want to create all that. They have a central light that controls this reality. And the spy zone is coming to gather those who are of the bond. We are going into the free and the bond. And the free is tied to the freeze, and the bond and the spy age. All right? So that's another play on the old reality machine that we're working in. So the bond, the spies, the pies that are going to serve for that American pie. What happened in American Pie with the apple pie? And the apple pie, it got baked, and then for the old second coming of the Lord. And Adon means the Lord. And you're on the back side. Everybody's getting a little tickled. So Russia, we see some things going on, all right? Starlink's been linked to called spyware through, I believe, Putin and such. And we see Russia moving waters around Florida around the same time again that they're in Cuba. So the first time was when Hurricane Beryl came. Russia came around that time. And this can be when they're moving in subs or whatever. And China has spyware in the Gulf and spyware in Seattle water area, and the Pacific coast has the Russians and China off of it, and you have Iran going and doing passes through Panama Canal to where they can be in position over off the Pacific, and then we have the doomsday subs coming in more than likely through this weather warfare that's going on, and China and Russia can be working together through a spy satellite network and different things with Elon to hide in a spy system where it can't be found per se. Okay, so this is where we see Epstein, the X-Files, the X-App, Twitter, carrying the sink. The sink is when he carries the sink and drains the swamp and those types of things, or is transferring a little bit of water at a time, going in and out of these things or whatever. But the X-Files, X-App, we'll be seeing a replay of all these things in the Daniel Duchovny. That's the day of Daniel and the Daniel's vision and those things. And we've been living through the 70 weeks of Daniel, and then now it's going from the stormy Daniel 70 weeks, and that ended on 7/20/24, and now we got the Daniel storm, and that's when we've seen Biden say, I'm going to take a bow, and you got the COVID, and then Corona Nation, coronation, the crowning for Kamala for her birth, the virus for Elon Musk kids and the trannies and that stuff. The woke and waking is where you wake up in a nightmare and whatever, and then the nightmare is going to send people back to sleep or going crying to mommy, and mommy will make everything better and all those other things. But you got to get to mommy because the lights are off, all right? And you got to do it by yourself because she's downstairs and all these other things, and you're not used to doing it alone, and it's your first time because you're a big boy now, and you've just been given birth and you don't even know it, and this is where you're in a new world. You don't know anything about it. Okay, so this birth of a man child is coming up with everybody. It's kind of been born now where everybody's like with that ear. It's like the first time you come out of the womb. What just happened? I think we might be in a time. I think they're trying to do something to us. I think they're trying to pull something. These types of things. The North Korea, we see at the same time or whatever, they're doing some flooding over there. So this flooding over there that they're showing at the same time as Russia and these things that are approaching Florida can be showing different things, but this is where like Hurricane Beryl and the things we see in Korea and all these things kind of come together in Florida, and we saw that flood in Florida before, but this is where we get like the replay of Hurricane Andrew or Katrina or whatever these things coming again. The Russia and Cuba, that's the cub, and the cub connects us to the bear, and that's the baby bear, the paw of the bear coming out and stepping out or whatever, and we've been seeing a bunch of bears and the cybers and those types of things. And then also the cub is part of the lion, and Trump announced Kamala being the lion. So the Hollywood stars, Sean Penn, Kanye West, they're visiting these different nations or whatever, right? These political figures. George Clooney's coming in. Yes, I approve. I approve of this, whatever. They're showing everybody in plain sight without telling you who these people are. Okay? And this is kind of where Kanye told everybody, like, Obama talked to me first. or whatever kind of thing. So Kanye is one of those people that's behind the scenes controlling things, at least as far as the spy is concerned. All right. And then he does these crazy things and whatever to conceal his identity. And then we can also see Kim Kardashian. She's that female chick, probably, or somebody like that, who is drugging dudes and basically raping them or having sex with them to get information from them or whatever else from them. Or to blackmail them, to get them on camera doing stuff or whatever, because deep cover operations, spy operations, require you to go and do things that you wouldn't normally do. All right, it's a character you have to play. So this is where we can see the Trump or whoever, they got Hunter or whoever's working the spy network. Okay, they can come in and say, I'm doing this or whatever. I can't be charged on these things over here. I was doing deep cover for the government. I was doing my spy stuff for Israel or for America or whatever, right? Because Israel that's a proxy nation, so that's a puppet, that's a small test or whatever, and then they can bring all these things and collapse them into our United States thing, and that's where we get the tribulation of all these things that are projected on the world stage coming into one final four. Okay, and we have that breaking open now with the birth of the lion Kamala and Kamala for the Twin Towers, for the replay, because these things are going from a spiritual to a carnal and coming through men. And as they come through men, they give birth through men. Because the waters move. The rock in the water, you throw it. It sends reverberations or vibrations or whatever, vibrations through reverberations. What is it? Either way, maybe both. Through the water, so the rock under the water, boom, sinks to the bottom. You actually get ripples throughout the whole water. And that ties us back to this. You throw the rock, and sometimes you got to sink down to the bottom. Once you sink down to the bottom, God's hand picks you right back up and takes you out and brings you into the real light. Because then you got to grasp on this reality. Did another video on this. You'll go check that out. But we can see this is where Trump can be trying to be taken out, or Kamala be taken out, or somebody's kids are taken out, or car bombs, or whatever kind of stuff. Because these spies, it's spy versus spy, and it's trying to take down a nation while controlling a nation. And while it's real, it's fake, and all these other things. And it's like a chessboard. And these things are being played as a chessboard on this nation to gather up this and that and the other. Okay? And if you don't know these things are going on, then you're the pawn being pulled by these strings. And this is kind of where I was talking about in another video, where it's like sometimes I'm sitting in the room and at the salon or whatever, and I can see like how there's something connected to people, and they're like being pulled and whatever by this strings or whatever. It's a weird, I don't know, man. It's weird, but it might just be like being through certain time zones and soundings upon the world stage. I noticed time slow or time fast or whatever. It might just be part of being taken into a high place and then seeing and being exposed and then coming back down and then checking things out again. But either way, the Russian spies, the sub sandwich, all those things are going to be done in the plastic, the plastic, and the dough. Those things are all code speak and such. I don't know if they're really plastic or what, but I know it's dark speak and telling the play sticks and that tic-tac, tic-tocs. Either way.